I'm going to start with a quote, one of my favorite books in the world. You have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes, you can steer yourself any direction you choose. You're on your own, and you know what you know, and you are the one who will decide where you'll go. How many of my students know where that comes from? Where does that come from? Dr. Seuss. Oh, the places you will go. That's also my favorite graduation book that I give out to graduating seniors. One of the things I want for you to realize as we go into this process is this black belt testing is about your personal growth and your personal development. How many of you have come a long way since white belt? Okay, so we've come a long way. But I will tell you, as challenging as your journey has been so far, you're just getting started. The best is yet to come, and I love that part. There's nothing like the feeling of getting a black belt tied around your waist, the recognition that you're strong and powerful, the sense of accomplishment, and the fact that you know for sure that you can do hard things. Very few things compare to that feeling. And so as you guys walk into this journey, I want you to really be aware that this is your journey. It's not your mom's journey. It's not your dad's journey. It's not your husband's journey or your wife's journey. This is about you and your growth. So I expect you to take it very seriously, and I expect you to really make an effort to give 100% to your success. Now, everybody has a life outside of Taekwondo. I know you may think that I don't realize that, but I do. But that being said, I still want you to understand that as you go through this process, to me, black belt may mean something very different from what it means to you. So I'm going to ask you this question. What is black belt? Who can give me that answer? Anybody know what black belt is? What is black belt?
Shows your growth.
Shows your growth. Good. What else? Thank you. And he's not one of my students. How come you guys aren't answering that? And they've heard that from me. Okay, black belt is a master of the basics. So as you guys go through that process, to me, mastering it means I've done it so many times that it comes naturally to me, that it's hard for me to do it wrong. In Pumse class today, we were practicing some sparrow blocks, and I was trying to have them compare technique. I had a hard time doing the technique incorrectly, and they're like, you can't do it, can you? I'm like, I've done it so many times. So as you guys go through your processing, I want you to really focus on, don't just go through the technique, and don't tell me that you know the technique, because I know that you know it. But what I'm asking you as you go into black belt testing is, are you embodying mind, body, and spirit to become your best self and your best black belt? How well do you know it? Can you do it so well that it's hard for you to do it incorrectly? The reason that that's important is if you ever have to go out and defend yourself, you can't say to your attacker, wait, I did that wrong. Can I try it again? I need a do-over. You cannot do that. So as you guys go in and practice, right now is when you start that process. You've been doing it for at least 4 years already. Now I'm asking you to take it to the next level with accuracy, sharpness, power, intensity, and making all those things happen. So we're going to start the night out with what to expect. Students and candidates, I'm going to go through with you what you are to expect. Then parents, I'm going to go through with you things that you probably want to know on what to expect. And that's really important, because I know parents, and as you make decisions, you're like, okay, I need to know how this applies and how this affects my family, and I get that. So I want to make sure as we go through this process that we're all on the same page. Okay? Candidates. Number one, I expect you to be responsible and accountable for your work. I need you practicing at home 30 minutes daily. If you cannot do that, the challenge that you're going to run into is that you won't be prepared, and you'll be coming to me and asking me to pass something off that's not quite there. Okay? So, those of you who've done this before, Valden, you know what it takes now. Are you willing to do the work?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I need to know that. You know, so that as you go into that process, you know it's your job. If you don't have time during your day, then you get up 30 minutes early and you do it in the morning before you go to school. Got it? That is your responsibility, and that is your expectation. Because guys, I don't want you to get your black belt. I want you to become a black belt. And to me, there's a difference. And I hope there's a difference by now that you know that there's a difference for you. Okay? So, this is what your week should look like. Number one, you're practicing daily 30 minutes a day. Number two, you're attending all your classes. All your classes. Your Monday class, which is your black belt prep class, and then your Tuesday, Thursday, which is going to be your regular traditional class. Now, if you're a youth, and you usually come on Monday and Wednesday, you'll be switching to Tuesday and Thursday. You are going to be going Tuesday and Thursday from 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock when the black belts go. We're going to be having you guys go in different rooms. You guys understand that?
Yeah.
Testers will be in one room, and other students, and then the regular black belts will be in another room.
When does that start? July 9th.
July 9th.
Could you repeat what classes, what times?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, so guys, I'm going to give you a lot of scheduling stuff information tonight. On Monday, you will have a schedule available to you. We just had to make some changes, and I didn't want inaccurate schedules floating around, so I didn't give it out tonight because we just had some recent changes. So, your
Monday,
classes,
Tuesday, Thursday.
your classes will be Monday, Tuesday, Thursday at 6 o'clock.
Black belt prep's at 6.
Black belt prep is at 6, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday at 6 o'clock. Those are your base requirement classes. That is your bare minimum. Okay? Now, that being said, you are also going to be expected to be practicing on top of that. You've got your 30 minutes a day. You also can set it up where some of the kids have already started it, and it's awesome. When there's an open classroom, you can schedule a classroom, and you guys, like after Poomsae class, I had a bunch of the kids went and worked on Poomsae for the next hour. So if you know you're going to be practicing at night, that can be your 30 minutes of practice. So get with your candidates, get with the other people that are testing, because we do better when we're working with other people. Okay? So it's nice because if you have a question, you can turn to someone and say, hey, what's this block? What's this strike? And if you are on a schedule, a weekly schedule where you've got that plan in your schedule, you will do a lot better, and your consistency will be higher, and your success will be greater. Okay? So I'm asking you to set up times to practice with other candidates. All of the candidates' parents have service hours that they are required to do.
What?
All candidates have service hours that they are required to do. You'll get more information on that. But the service hours, the reason that they are important is because some of them are BST service hours and some of them are community service hours. The community service hours, I want them out in the community serving. I want you helping at Easter egg hunts. I know some of the kids have already done that. I want you guys out helping in the community because I think that is one of the gifts of really understanding what black belt is being part of a community. And I want you serving in your community. The BST service hours are there for the candidates to work together. And what I mean by that is that's really important to have first degrees. All you guys that are already black belts, you guys should be helping the new guys coming in. You should be helping them with their forms because that will improve your forms as you teach them, and it will help them to be able to prepare and have extra support as they're learning and relearning theirs at a higher level. Got it? So if you have service hours, you may start them. Many of you have already started them. If you haven't, start them right away. Get all the candidates who are still struggling with their forms and work on them with them. Okay? Seminars? Yeah, please do.
So service hours means times when you are serving. If you go and you practice for an hour and other people are in the room, that's not service, that's cooperation. Okay? If you are there to be of service to them and you're watching their forms and you're giving them feedback and you're doing all this stuff to help them be a better person, that's service. Okay? But if you're just going and practicing next to somebody, that's not service.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay?
Okay. I think Adam quit counting his service hours last year for black belt testing, and he did more than you could possibly imagine. And I think half of the younger kids learned their forms from him, and it was wonderful. So it's a great opportunity. Parents, utilize those resources. Utilize those resources. So if your kids have forgotten some of their past rank forms, start now working with some of the higher ranks or the older, the DANs, and have them go through with them what your forms are so they can get their service hours and you can get ahead of the game. Okay? Specialty classes for black belts and extra classes for color belts, I expect you to be attending those. Those will be really helpful. We have board breaking. You're going to be board breaking at black belt testing. So attending board breaking on Friday will make a huge difference. Master Estrada will be helping you to get your stuff ready and help you get your outline ready. Our board breaking seminar is in October, and I'll give you the dates for that in a minute. Is that one September? December 1st. So December 1st is going to be that outline.
All of these major dates are on the website, so you don't have to scribble them down.
So you'll have all of them for you. But I want you guys, as you guys look at this, and I'll go through all these big dates with you, but I want for you guys, as you look at these dates, everything that we do in classes will prep you for those. Does that make sense? So if you're attending board breaking class, that'll help you get everything ready for that seminar. And that seminar is your final, you're running through it, you're prepping it, you're doing your boards, you're making sure that your holders are holding right. You're really refining everything at that point so you can be more successful. Does that make sense? Okay, but your stuff, all your work has to be done before that time. So if you've not been attending Pumse board breaking class, you're going to have some challenges. Pumse class every Friday as well. We just focused just on Pumse. Last week in Pumse class, we just focused on side kicks. But now everybody who was in that class knows what the expectation is for the side kicks in their Pumse. And it really makes a difference. I can tell the people who are consistently attending Pumse and those who are not. Okay? So it really makes a difference for you.
That's also where you go if you want to get your evals for your 100 challenge. That's required before you can pass off any of your forms.
So all your evals. I'm going to walk through with you what the purpose of the evals are. You get evals from your master instructors. We have 5 master instructors here. So we have a lot of resources. You guys are very blessed. Most studios are lucky to have 1 master instructor. We've got 5. And so as you guys go through that, and I'm requiring you to do a 100 challenge, one of the things that happens is if you go through and I say, okay, you got to do your form 100 times so you've got it down and it's strong and you're confident going into black belt testing, and you practice it 100 times incorrectly, you will spend the rest of your martial arts career undoing that. So one of the things that we do is you may not do more than 25 forms without having it checked. You do 25 forms, you have a master instructor eval it. You do 25 more forms, you have them eval. Every 25, because we're going to keep working on taking you to the next level. In addition to that, on your 100 challenge, there's feedback. I expect that the feedback that you're getting on those sheets, you are putting it into your curriculum and practicing it for your next 25. So you're not just saying, okay, that's good. No, we're saying, okay, that's awesome, now add this. All right, that's terrific, now let's add this. Let's fix this, and then add this. Then, your 100 challenge, your performance has gone from here to here. And that is really key, guys. It is really a key thing to have that opportunity. Because when you get to black belt, you will not only be respected and understood, but your performance and your execution will be at a level worthy of black belt. Now, that being said, I have people with hip problems, I have autistic kids, I have people who have foot injuries, I've had people in casts. Everybody's expected to perform at their personal best. Now that's really important for you to understand, because I'm not going to be comparing Evan with Jaden or Teresa with Caden. But I'm going to be comparing Teresa with Teresa's personal best. And it needs to be there. Does that make sense? That's really important to me. You know, because you guys have come a long way, and I know, and Master Page and Master Estrada and Master Air, Master Holly, everybody knows exactly, you know, Master Danner, they know what your capability levels are, so you need to be performing, continuing to grow at that level. Got it? And I guarantee you, I will know if you've practiced or not. Promise. I will have people who come to me and I'll say, you haven't practiced. And I go, oh, how did you know? Last time? This time. You can't go lateral, you got to go up. Got it? I can tell. Okay, so you need to be doing the work. And it can't just be running through your forms. There's a difference. As you go through your forms, I want you to work on execution. If you have a technique, how many of you guys have ever had a piece of your form where you're doing a technique and you start to lose your balance? And every time you get to that section, you lose your balance. If you've ever done a form, every one of you's got to raise your hand because we've all been there. All right? I need you to stop and work on that section. And execute and improve and work on your balance. Find out if your core or your hip or you're not turning on the ball of your feet. Figure out what's wrong. Because if you just keep gliding through it, what's going to happen at testing? You're going to lose your balance. You may know it really well, but you're still going to lose your balance. So learning how to put all the pieces together is the purpose of that 100 challenge, not just to say you did it. And you will get a medallion when you complete that requirement, okay? All right, private lessons. Parents, this is really important as you go through that. There's going to go through all the costs with you eventually, towards the end. And as you go through the costs, know that there are costs. You're going to have your basic costs, and then there's going to be other costs in addition to that. The more prepared they are, in a lot of ways, the less money that you will spend in extra things. Okay? The more that they attend things, the more prepared, the harder they work. Then you'll reap those rewards in many ways. But private lessons are not a bad thing. Private lessons are valuable. Some of your private lessons may be done in service by another instructor who needs their hours. Some of them you may pay for. We have packages available because they are so valuable. We will have packages available where you can buy five and get one free. And you will do that based on the rank of the instructor, and you can choose the instructor that you choose to work with. And you can use those punch passes for any instructor that's at that rank. Okay, so you can do that however you want. Okay, I did a lot of those last year. The benefit of that is you're getting one-on-one attention, number one. It's focused just on you. It gives you the opportunity to grow at a much higher, faster level. But as you go through that process, it also allows you, if it's an instructor, if it's a master instructor that can pass off, it allows you to get your pass-offs done with them. But I'm going to tell something that parents, this is really important for you to understand. If you send them to do private lessons with me, and you're thinking, okay, each form takes about a minute, so I'm going to send them to you and have you come and pass all those off and just do one private lesson and get everything passed off. I promise you that's not going to happen. Okay? Because we're talking about mastering technique. So if they have worked at home and they have gotten to the point where they have got every one of their forms to 25 or 50 or 75, and they're ready for an eval on each one, or they've completed their 100 challenge and they've already been getting feedback from me and they've done the work, there may be a good chance they're ready to pass several of those off. But more often than not, I will have kids come to me and the form is inaccurate, or the form is not powerful, the techniques are incorrect, the stances are not clean, the transitions are not clean, and it's nowhere near being ready to pass off. When that's the case, it's not the fact that they're not good, it's the fact that we have to adjust and do some work, and when they get that work done, then they can pass it off. But it may take me an hour to work on one form and get it where it needs to be. Okay, state, a couple weeks ago, a couple of world champions were in town. When I go do private lessons with them, I pay $250 for an hour lesson. That's what they cost. So as you guys go out there, just know we have worked really hard to provide opportunities for you. Number one, we've got a lot of resources out there. We have a YouTube channel that has all the forms on it. And those forms are done in 3 ways. There's the judge's view from the front. There is the follow along, where they can follow along behind, so they're turning in the right directions and they're not getting confused because they're facing the right direction. And then there's the tutorial. So each form is done 3 different ways. If they really go home and work on those, and then they're attending Pumse class, and they're really giving 100% effort, they're going to get that stuff moved through pretty fast. Does that make sense? So you guys kind of see what I'm asking from you? A lot of people are like, why do you start this so early? Do you know why I'm starting this so early? So that you're not going crazy in November and December and feeling like you want to running with a chicken with your head chopped off. I'm saying if you start now and you're doing that 30 minutes a day and you're working hard and attending the extra classes specific, especially during summertime when you're busy, when they're not as busy, then guess what happens? You're just continually to grow fast as you go by.
This little boy, he did exactly what I told him to do. I had the outline. I was like, okay, you're going to practice this. You're going to do this. We got to testing week, and he was like, why is everybody so stressed out? This is fun. And he was just like gliding through everything, and it was a piece of cake for him because he'd done the work. That's the trick. It's that if you've done the work, you've been consistent, you've been doing it the whole way through, then it's not a big deal. And testing is just the stress of, okay, now I have to perform for people. Instead of, now I have to hope I remember it, and I have to perform it in front of everybody. Does that make sense? So if you follow the schedules and you do what I've asked you to do, I guarantee that testing isn't as bad as people say it is. The reason it's bad is because people procrastinate, and then life just sucks.
I don't understand.
Yeah,
I guarantee
it
the testing isn't
Life just sucks.
Are you ready, sir? Okay. All right. Checkpoint makeups. This is something new that we've done this year. One of the things I want for you guys to keep in mind is this doesn't just impact you. As lucky as we are to have 5 master instructors, they have to pass everything off. So think of how many forms that we have to pass off. There's a lot.
There's 20 testers.
So there's 20 testers, and there is anywhere between 9 and 13 forms per person times 4 evals each.
Times 5.
Times 5 evals
Because
each.
you have to pass it off.
Because we have to pass it off at the end. Okay, so there's a lot. And that's all I'm saying. I haven't done the numbers, but there's a lot. But my point with that is if all 20 people wait to really work on those poomsae until December, and it makes it really hard for everybody to get everything done. And what will happen is last year I had parents that would come to me and say, my son says that you're never available for pass-offs. And I'm thinking, I did 15 hours of pass-offs this week. So if that's being said, it's because it's just a really busy time. And so I'm asking, so we're setting this up early to give you opportunities to be not stressed and get it done early, and give us an opportunity to make sure we get everybody's stuff done in a timely manner. Does that make sense? So that's really important as we go through that. So with checkpoints, what we've done this year is every so often this will be in your schedule, and it is online. So we'll go through that with you in a minute. But as you go out with that process, I want you to realize that when we get to a certain point, if A, B, and C are not passed off, we're going to have an additional checkpoint class available to you. There will be a fee to that. It's $35 for 3 hours. So it's a steal because it's not a private lesson, and hopefully it will get them caught back up. And we're doing those periodically. We've got 2 or 3 of those.
We have two for class hours, and we have 2 for sparring hours.
So that will help people getting things done. So we're trying to put opportunities along the way where if you're struggling a little bit, you can make that happen. Does that make sense? That's the purpose of that. And so this is not about the money, but I have to have you understand that every single time I bring up extra instructors and I get to pay them. And so it does cost me, so you guys get to cover that cost, okay? Okay. Schedule time to work with other candidates weekly. You need to plan your practice, your self-defense every week, and you need 3 tournaments. I have posted 3 tournaments that are available from now until testing. They are going to be on the website as well for you. So if you do not have your 3 tournaments, those are 3 local tournaments that you can attend. If you have your tournaments, you don't have to attend those. I am encouraging everybody to the Wasatch exhibition because number one, that's our tournament, but I also want them to perform their board-breaking series at the Wasatch. That way, that's their dry run for black belt testing. Okay, so that is one of the ones I do want you to do. But if you've done the rest of your tournaments, I want you to, you don't have to worry as much about the extra ones that I put in there. But schedule those dates in now. Okay? Parents, what to expect. Kids won't communicate as well as you'd like them to. Guarantee you. Okay? There's a lot to do, and it's an everyday thing. It just is. Okay? We're not getting our black belts. We're becoming a black belt. Black belts are black belts every day. Okay? So do the math. Each form takes about 1 minute. They're doing, if they're a black rec, 9 forms, 100 times each. So that's a process, not to including all their eval. So there's just a time commitment there for them. And so you just guys need to know that you're making that commitment. Okay? Practice for improvement, not just to get it done. Plus allow time to fix and break down sections that are not working for you. Candidates are responsible to be working at home. It takes time to pass things off, often 2 to 10 times to pass off as...
Very rarely does anyone pass something off the very first time
I
they
see
show
what
it to
you're
an
saying.
instructor. They
So-
have to do it usually at least twice, and some people come back 10, 15, 20 times.
So if you want to come back less to pass something off, that means you need to really incorporate the things and the feedback that you've been given. And these are things, I guarantee you that, how many of you guys have been reading your prelims papers that you get back, or your color belt testing forms after testing? Do you guys read those? Because if you guys are constantly working on those things that we've been putting on those for the last 3 to 4 years, you're continually improving, and there's going to be a lot less for you to pass off when it gets to pass off for testing, okay? All right. They will not be ready if they're just showing up to class. They've got to do the plan ahead of time. Call for help. Plan early, guys. We have past testers who kind of know the system. Ask them. Talk with parents who've put their kids through it. Talk with the coaches. We've got coaches that will be assigned. People who are not testing this year will be coaching. They're going to be earning their service hours for next year or the year after. So the great thing about that is you can grab some of the coaches and they can do their service hours, helping you to get ready. Does that make sense? Okay. Private lessons, your service hours. And then parents, also I want you to really make sure that you're paying attention to the schedule. Get out that schedule, put the schedule in your calendar so it's already there till January. Okay? You don't have the calendar with you today, like I said, but it's online and you'll get your complete one when you get your book.
Online right now are the major dates. I'm working on finalizing the other dates, and as soon as I have them finalized, there is a Google Calendar on the black belt testing website that I'll be showing you that you can link to, and it will import all of those dates into your calendar for you. So I'll let you know as soon as that's done.
Is she amazing or what? Woohoo, give her a hand.
So no excuses.
This would not happen without her. Just so you know. Okay. Let's talk for a few seconds about what Poom versus Dan is. There's been a lot of questions around that, and I want to address that really fast. So we've talked about planning time to be successful, so I'm going to kind of skip over that one. You guys know what that is now. Poom versus Dan. Who can tell me, you young guys, what's the difference between a Poom rank and a Dan rank?
How old they are, that's one of the reasons.
Speak really loud.
How old they are, that's one of the reasons, and then just what they're maybe teaching.
Performing. Okay.
Learning level is.
Let's talk about Poom versus Dan just a little bit. Dan rank is 15 years of age and older. Poom rank is a junior black belt, that's the translation, and it's 14 years of age and younger. If at any time after they test and they're 14 years old and 6 months later they turn 15, they automatically will be converted to a Dan rank. Okay? Not in their certification from Kukiwan, but in the studio. Does that make sense? They will not be converted in their certification until they test again for their next black belt. Okay? That's how that works. Now, that being said, there's going to be a little bit of differences this year. Number one, Poom ranks will not be doing self-defense demos. Poom
Unless he opts in.
If he opts in, then that's different. Poom ranks will not be doing self-defense demos. However, Poom ranks will have a set number of self-defense technique interactions with scenarios with a partner that they will be practicing for the next 6 months, and that's what they will perform. They're already defined, they're already established. You don't have to coordinate with all their team members because that's the hardest part. You have people that, we'll get into that in a little bit. That's the hardest part. So that way you will have your requirements, we will videotape them, and they will be online for you, and you'll be able to practice them. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay? 15 years of age and above will still have their self-defense demo. And we'll do it just like it was last year. So if you're 15 years of age, you're at it again. But now you've got it down and you know what you're doing. And it's a lot easier for the adults because, number one, they're self-motivated. Number two, their parents don't have to drive them. Number three, the parents don't have to supervise them. And number four, the parents don't have to let them know if the technique is correct or not. So there's a lot of benefits to that. Okay, so we love the self-defense demos. They're my favorite things. And every year I see so much growth in them. But with the younger kids last year, it was just too hard because our kids are getting busier and busier, and figuring out people's schedules and coordinating that and having it be effective and work was just too much. Okay, so please keep that in mind. The other difference is a Poom rank is having a black and a red collar. Stand up, sir. Stand up on the bench. That is a Poom rank. That's a junior black belt certification. Uniform. And then if you'll notice, his belt is also in red. Okay? A Dan rank has a straight black collar, and their belt is in gold. Okay? That's the difference. You can look at them and you will know. Okay?
If you turn 15, you can wear the black collar uniform, and if you really, really, really have a problem with red on your belt, you can pay to get one with gold.
The
So
belts,
we're in for you.
those belts start at $65. That's just what they cost. Believe me, I know, because I had mine stolen recently and I had to replace it. So, as far as schedule, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the schedule, but I'm just going to give you an idea of what's going on because it is on the website, and she'll go through that with you. Okay? Number one, your job right now is to get ready for the eligibility interview. That's your job right now, kids. You've got paperwork in front of you. The information is in it. Okay? And those are the things that you will have to do. Can I steal yours for a second? Okay, so eligibility interview, Master Page has written down right here. You'll meet with the master instructor. This is what is included. This is what is included. You'll need to bring and have completed this and this and this. This is what I want you to focus on right now. Got it? Let's get that done. So let's just bite the elephant off one bite at a time. So this is what you're doing right now. Got it? Plus your 30 minutes a day and attending your classes. Okay? Then, after that, so all of this stuff is included. Okay, and you'll get all this turned in. And then at the back of that,
Do you want me to explain that, please?
yeah.
So the very last page, guys, we're going to be I'm going to try and get you your books during color belt testing week, but it really depends just on how soon I get everybody's commitments and if everybody does their eligibility interviews on time. Because these books cost me $40 to print. Okay, that's how much just the paper and the ink costs to get these books printed.
And the binding.
Okay, and bound, to get them printed and bound. So I'm going to get them once I have everybody's feedback. I'm going to go to the store and I'm going to do it once, because it also takes me about 8 hours to print all the books, collate them, cut them, get them bound, and get everything done. Okay, so I'm going to do that once. So as soon as the eligibility interviews are due on June 15th, once I have those final numbers, I will go to the store and I will spend time to get the books put together. But if you're not going to be here during color belt testing week or something else and you don't get your book before July 9th, this page is the first page of your daily tracking that starts in July, as of July 1st. Okay, so you would fill this out and then transfer it to your book when you get your book. Okay, or if you're going to be here anyway, you can fill this out and get started early. Okay, on here, it has 2 to 5 minutes of conditioning. That's your sit-ups, that's your crunches, that's your push-ups. There will be a list in your book that you're going to be able to go through, but for now, it's just working on your core conditioning. Okay, 15 minutes of pumse, and then 10 minutes of focused Taekwondo practice. That's the breaking things down, the working on the turns, the transitions, the little things that you need to fix. Okay, that could also be working on your self-defense, working on your kicks, working on your combos, anything like that.
And it's also when you look at your 100 challenge and look at the notes of things that we've asked you to replace or fix or improve. And so you're taking your feedback off of those sheets, and that's your focused Taekwondo practice for that's your resource for that.
And this lets you plan out your own training regimen, your own training schedule, and you can build it up and, like you said, take that feedback, put it on here. Or you can look at your testing card. I want to have half my kicks passed off by this day, so therefore I need to work on this kick, and this kick, that kind of thing. All right? And the signature there, if it's a Dan, then the Dan signs it. If they're a Poom, then the parent signs it.
Thank you. Okay. Also, you've got a report that you have to do. I'm going to have Master Page, why don't you come up and go through the website right now, okay? We're going to skip around just a little bit so we can make that happen, and I'll come back.
This is kicktoday.com, our regular website. Up in this top corner, you're going to go to the members section. Okay? In the members section, you're going to go to black belt testing information, and you enter the password, which is BBT 2019. It is on your papers that you have in front of you. Okay, and that gets you in.
Should say it. Where is it on? Here's the front page.
It's on the front page.
So guys, we're going to go through the resources at the end. We have tons of resources for you to be successful. It will save you time and money if you'll utilize them.
So here are the dates to reserve now. These are the major dates. The date of the board breaking seminar, the date your self-defense demo is going to be finished. Actually, I think that's correct. Okay. We'll just come back and check these. If it's a Monday through Thursday date, then don't put it in your calendar yet. If it's a Saturday date, those are not going to be changing.
Okay. Yes,
Will
ma'am.
these dates also appear on the Google Calendar?
These will all be on the Google Calendar once I have it finalized, yes.
So don't upload them yet. Give us a couple more days to
Well, there's
finalize
nothing
it.
on it right now, so.
Okay.
Okay. There's a lot of information. There's a letter from us you can read. It talks about how practice is important. There is your reports. Okay, this is eligibility interview requirements if you go there. Actually, don't go there. I don't think I updated that page yet. Never mind. Don't click on that button. Okay, but here,
Those are in front of you, so you don't need it.
okay, your black rec report. You will click, if you're black rec, you click here, and eventually it takes you to this page. Eventually. Okay, it has, so this is the theory of power. You read this, and you fill out these questions. You answer these questions. Now, this is not like a test. It's not like you read the paper and then you have to take a test. This is open book. So you take this and you're looking through, reading it, and you're figuring things out. If you have questions, you're welcome to ask instructors. You can ask whoever you need to. Yes?
Should we like print that out and then write?
No. It's way better if you like copy that into a Word document and then type it. It saves my brain so much trying to decipher handwriting. Okay? Plus it has spell check if you put it in Word, which is great.
Guys, the reason of this is, how many of you guys have ever heard me talk about mind, body, and spirit? If you've ever been around me, we talk about that a lot. This is the mind part. I need to know that you understand the principles of power. I need you to understand, if I punch, how am I going to get the most out of that punch? If I'm striking, how am I going to break the board? Because if I have you guys do a board breaking series and you don't understand how to create power, you're just going to get hurt. So this is really vital. It's really important for them to understand. It's open book. We just want you to read and make sure you understand it and give us feedback so that we can see if you get it. So that way, if we're struggling, we get a chance to check in with you and make sure that you get the information you need to be successful on the mat. Okay?
Okay.
So what she's asking you to do is, she has all this for you. You're going to read each section, and then you're going to fill these out, and then read a section and fill these out. The benefit of that is when you end up doing your actual meditation, going through that process, you've got your resource in front of you. You don't have to go back and read it. Does that make sense? Guys, how important do I feel like meditation is?
Very important.
It's the mind part, it's the spirit part of mind, body, spirit. Got it? So don't leave this. A lot of you guys will leave that to the last. It will make you a better black belt. So I'm encouraging you to do it. Like, Teresa, you're going to be out in California. This is something that you can do at night after work. So it's a really fun, well, actually you don't have to because you're not a black belt yet, but you can still
She
do
still
this.
has her report.
So you get your report done, those kind of things. But this is a really helpful thing, guys. Meditation will serve you the rest of your life if you understand what it can do for you.
Do you have those at the studio?
Yeah, they're for sale now. We have them in the case up front.
The remind notifications, okay, most of you guys have heard about those already. You text this message to this number. It's also on your paper. And then when I send out a group text, it will go to whatever phone you have texted that from. So if you want it for multiple phones, you do that from different numbers. But that way you'll get the group text, and I send out reminders like, remember we're working on this today, remember that this is due today, make sure you have this, remember this uniform, etc., etc., etc. Okay?
So we literally text the at, starting with the at sign?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So guys, you can just there's an app called Remind, and I can help you download it.
It's kind of better if they don't,
Okay.
because if they do, then they get double texts, which is
Okay.
obnoxious.
Okay.
So it's
So-
better to just do this unless they want to actually use it to send stuff to other people.
The thing that I want you to understand about this is the only way we're sending out reminders. It is the only way. We're going to make announcements in class, and we will send reminders to this. So if you are not checking those, or if you don't download that, and when you show up and you say, oh, I didn't know that was due, I'm going to say, did you do the remind sign up? So you need to have that done. It's really, really, really important, okay?
Thank you to the 5 of you who just did it. Because my wrist just said, Carol just joined Black Belt Prep. Okay? All right.
This has a lot of information. You can go in and read it. I'm not going to read it to you right now. It's on here for that purpose. Okay? The finance information is here also. So if you want to look at that. Okay? If you don't have the agreement set up by June 15th, there is a $50 late fee. Because if you don't have it set up by June 15th, that means I didn't print you a book. And if I didn't print you a book, that means I have to go and spend that time doing it later. So get it done before then, because I don't want to have to go twice. All right? So please just make sure that that gets done as soon as possible. Okay? Here it talks about the additional costs, including uniforms, private lessons. On here I say expect 2 to 4. It's a good thing to just plan on 2 to 4 lessons. Unless, like, you're a Nazi and you're living here anyway, then you might be able to get away with no lessons. Okay? But realistically, I don't see private lessons as a bad thing. I see them as a way to improve and become a better, get more feedback so that I can become better. And a lot of times, it's just what you need to make that next step.
I have some of my kids that just do private lessons starting in August, every week or every month.
And they don't do the daily at-home practice because they're doing the private lessons every week. So they do 2 private lessons a week for an hour, and that's their practice for the week. And that's what they do. And they were very successful because they knew exactly what they had to work on. They were guided, they were directed, and they had somebody there who was able to give them exactly the feedback they needed every single time.
So if that's what way you want to do it, you can do it.
Okay. The testing fee is transferable to the next black belt testing, minus things we've already spent. So if I already bought your belt for $65, then you'd have to buy your belt again next time. Does that make sense? So there's things like
If for some reason I can't use it.
if there's certain costs that we can't recoup, then those will be deducted from what gets transferred. But anything that isn't will be transferred to the next test if for some reason you can't test at that time. Does
Like
that make
if
sense?
someone breaks their leg or gets injured or something happens and they're unable to test, they can just transfer that to the next time and they can test next time.
Okay, so once you paid for black belt testing, you paid for black belt testing. Okay. We do not do refunds, though. So this is the calendar. Don't subscribe to it yet. Wait till I get everything in there first. Did it update if I updated things last year?
Yes, it would update.
Okay, well
Because
then
it
you
will
can
just
do it now if
refresh.
you want.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm clueless. I don't know how to get a calendar. I can read it and edit it.
So I think you click on this little button, and then it will do stuff. And it puts it in your Google Calendar. I'm not on my computer, so I can't do it. But I can add this calendar. Now it's saying add this calendar. I add it, I log in, and it would add it to my Google Calendar that's already on there.
Down here on this side.
And it'll add it down here. Okay, let's try it. I don't want that. Okay. And now it's right there. Cool.
So, can you update that by 15th of June?
As soon as I have the
We'll send a reminder out telling you when it's updated.
once I have it done, I'll set it up. Okay. So that is schedule stuff, and I think that's it now.
Okay. All right, I want to get you through this. A couple things I want you guys to keep in mind. I'm really serious about, oh, Mike, sorry. Wait, can I have the mic back? It's in your back pocket. As we go through this, guys, I'm pretty serious about you getting stuff done on time. So before you start, we have asked you, before you start, even register for your eligibility, we ask you to get 50 forms done of each. Parents, that's for your benefit, not mine. Because if your student is not committed enough to get 50 forms done, black belt testing is going to be a bear. And I just want for you to all be on the same page. And I want to them, that's their commitment. That's their way of showing I'm going to follow this through. So that's a really important thing. So I'm going to be big on those dates. It's not uncommon for me to do a lot of private lessons the week before testing. To the point I've done as many as 25.
So this is what we have put a deadline on it this year. If your curriculum is not passed off by
January 10th.
January 10th, you get a curriculum late fee. I don't want your $100. I want your stuff done. Do you guys get that? And here's the deal, kids and adults who are testing. You get to pay that, not your parents. Do you understand that? So get your curriculum done ahead of time. Got it? It's really not that hard. Just do what I ask. Got it? I'm going to add, you did a really good job of that last year. You've done it 2 years now. Give me a couple of keys that you felt that to be able to get the kids done on time. Everything was done on time with your kids. And in fact, usually in advance. What did you do to make that happen?
I let him, who got the black belt, talk to the other guy who was getting the black belt, and he would say, do it now, don't wait. And I felt like that was a voice of experience, talking to the boy who needed to hear it instead of it coming from mom. So let them hear it from the other black belts, but start now. Start now.
Okay. All right. So just know that there are dates when I want things done. I really am encouraged. We have an open mat the week before Christmas. And that open mat is kind of like, I expect everybody to be done by then. And then that way we all get a Christmas break. I haven't had a Christmas break in a couple years. And so I want you guys really to kind of focus on that and plan to have it done by then. And if you're following the pattern and everything we have, you'll be fine. Okay? All right. I was also asked to go through what happens at phase 1 and phase 2. The very first Saturday in January is your only free Saturday in January. Now, for those of you who are looking at doing ALL testing, this is really important. They usually give you 2 dates, and it's 2 Saturdays in January. That first Saturday is one of them. Do your ALL testing then if you have any intent of doing ALL testing. Got it? It's really important because the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th Saturday you are going to be doing black belt testing and nothing else. The month of January you'll be doing black belt testing and nothing else. And I'm going to be very clear about this. I have people all the time that say, hey, I'm going to be in a play, and don't worry, it's okay because it finishes in December. And I'm thinking, my son was in plays. I know how many hours they need from you. This is not the time for you to do a play. You can do a lot of plays and you can do them in February. But not this fall. I'm asking you don't do any other extracurricular activities. Parents are just going to be so busy. It's just that's the time. We're mastering curriculum and you've made this choice. I'm challenging you to choose this and put your other extracurricular activities on hold for a little while. Now, granted, I understand you guys have lives and that you're busy, but it doesn't just impact you because if you are having to get with the demo team, it's not just your schedule. The biggest problem we had with the youth and demo team practices last year was the fact that they were all on different schedules and we couldn't coordinate their dates. Sir?
With the play stuff, would that be the same for coaches?
You can talk with me about that at a different time. Coaches are going to have a separate meeting.
Okay.
And you'll just have a specific schedule. So you can schedule around that. So I'm not as concerned about you. Okay? All right, phase 1. Phase 1 is where they perform and pass and do a final proof and show and performance of their completed curriculum, and it's all tested. Everything that's on their card, it's an all-day event, no spectators, the doors are locked, and we bring in all the master instructors and we do evals, and it's all day. And they come home exhausted and they will sleep. And they will sleep. Do not plan for them to go to the movies that night or have a family reunion because they will sleep through it. Okay? We start at 9 o'clock in the morning. We open the doors at 8. We lock the doors. We go through the whole day. We call you when we're done. And you come pick up your children. Or if you're an adult, you drive home. Or their bodies. And you sleep. It is what we do. Because this is black belt testing. Guys, just so that you know, this is a 4-year college degree in Korea. This is a 4-year college degree in Korea. That is what you're passing off.
And it's cumulative. It's not you did it and you're done. It's you're passing off everything you've ever learned. So it's a cumulative test.
Very much so. Very much so.
Will
Thank
we
you.
be getting a card like we did when me, Jaden, and Bowden first
Yes.
tested? Okay.
You'll get one every year. Every year you test, okay? You will have more information and outlines on the handbook. There are, in the handbook, you're going to get this handbook. Would you just grab me your rough? You guys have no idea. I have people from other martial arts schools that go, you really get this? This is the coolest thing I've ever seen. My master instructor, who is a 9th degree black belt from Korea, bought one of our books so that he could implement it at his school because he says, I have never seen anything like this. He goes, this is the most amazing. He says, this is the best black belt testing I've ever been to. He says, I've been black belt tests in all over the world. He's been to black belt tests in China, Korea, all over the world. He says, I go to 3 black belt tests in a different part of the world every single month. And he said, this is by far the best black belt test I have ever attended. So that's a credit to those people who test and you guys, because you do a good job. But this is the book that you're going to get. It's going to be bound. It's going to look a little bit more fancy than this. This is our rough. And now you know our theme for the year. Own it. But it will have all of your lists. It will have things you have to pass off. It will have your daily tracking. It will have your required equipment. It will have your schedules. It will have your sparring requirements, your color belt testing. This is your Taekwondo Bible.
So the card is in the
You will have a card that is here that I'm passing off. That's my record. That's the final due. That's the one that counts. But you will have one in here that you check off that I don't have to sign, where you have a resource. You say, okay, I've done that. So you,
instead of coming here.
and then here's one other thing. On your cards here, take pictures of them. On your 100 challenges, take pictures of them. Do a weekly picture. Because if you lose it, which it did happen last year, you get to redo it if you have no record of what you've done. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So take pictures of it so you've got that tracked.
Same thing applies to 100 challenges.
Yep. Okay? This goes through your everything. You guys, this is just the coolest book you've ever seen. Goes through your board breaking, how to set up. It tells you everything that you have to pass off is in here, but if you don't read this, it cannot help you. Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is one. It has the meditation for the first degrees testing for second. It has everything. Got it? Has your record of your service hours. Everything that you need will be in here. You do not want to lose this book. Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
It will have your name on it, and it will go with you every time you come to Taekwondo.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, this is amazing. Yes, sir.
You guys are getting so sophisticated. We have a Kindle edition of it.
We have what?
We should get a Kindle edition.
It's possible.
Audiobook.
We're working on that. You give us a couple more years. Let us get this refined because we already have it in digital copy, so that will actually be the easier part of all this. Okay. Phase 2. So phase 1 is the second week of January. Phase 2 is our practice and review. We also have President's Day during that time. That's also a practice day. Okay? Then we cut to phase 2, which is on the 3rd week, and that is our performance for you. Guys, you can just send me flowers when you figure out that I did not make you sit through phase 1. Phase 2 is 3 hours, and it's the highlights. And it's all the cool stuff that you've been waiting to see. Bring your friends, bring your family, bring aunts and uncles and your friends, and celebrate. Okay? That's what that's about. And as you go through that process, we will have a morning prep, and then we will have a lunch that usually the parents will bring in, and a potluck, and then in the afternoon is our performance, and then we have our banquet that night. And it's a wonderful celebration. Banquet tickets, there are 2 included in their testing fees, themselves and one other person. So if you have both parents that want to go, or if you want to bring, we've had people bring 20 people. We've had some people bring themselves. I don't care how many you bring, it's $25 per additional person. Okay? You can choose to bring them or not. It's a really fun celebration time for the candidates and all it's a chance for them to say thank you to all of the teams that they've worked with and make a real difference. And it's a really wonderful, special time But you can choose to go to it or not go to it, however you want to do that. But just know that as we go through that process, we try and sit every...
Can't choose.
What?
The extra people can choose.
Yeah, the extra people can
The
choose.
candidates need to be there to get their stuff.
Yeah, the candidates won't get their belt. Well, candidates will get their belts ahead of time, but they won't get everything else. So it's a really fun time, so you're not going to want to miss that, okay? But as we go through this, in order to be ready for that, you need to be at all the practices. You can't miss those times. So unless you are on your deathbed, you are at those practices. All right, guys? Challenge we run into, I know sometimes, is there's youth conferences and things that come up that overlap, and I'm apologizing right now. We have done everything we can to pick the least busy time of the year, and believe me, January is it. I've done black belt testing every year, every month of the year, except for May, and I'll never do it in May. So this is the best time that we can do. Just know that this is what we're doing. Block that time out. Okay? And it's not because I'm being difficult, it's because I want the candidates to be successful, and this is how we do it. I've done it for 15 years. I know what works, and I just need you to trust me with that and provide me with as much support as you can, because I will be there for you, and I will make sure that your child is successful if they're doing their work. Okay? Guys, this is a wonderful time. I'm so excited about black belt testing. It's my favorite time every single year. And I know that you're going to love it too. I'm going to do one more thing for you, and then I'm going to let you go tonight. We do have the ability to schedule the studio rooms when they're not in use. Keep in mind there's a couple restrictions around that. I need parents to understand this. Number one, you always have to schedule at the front desk. Number two, anybody is eligible to schedule those rooms, so I just want you to know that, because if I have 3 demo teams that all need to schedule at that same time, you don't get to say, well, we got here first, you don't get to come. So you may have 3 demo teams in one room at the same time. Okay, just know that you do need to schedule if you want to be able to use that room, because we need to be able to plan how many people are going to be in that room. Okay, we have a back room that you're also able to use, but keep in mind, a couple things go first. Curriculum always goes first, so we do have a hierarchy of what gets to pass off. So if I have someone who's getting curriculum passed off, that will go ahead of extra things, extra demo teams and extra stuff, okay? So
If we're doing pass-offs, and you have that room scheduled for demo team practice, well, I'm sorry, I love you. We're getting people's cards passed off.
pass-offs will go, pass-offs is always going to take priority over anything else that's scheduled. So here's the other thing, guys. Keep in mind that you can do demo team practices in your basement. You guys had demo team practices in your basement all the time. So you can do demo team practices somewhere outside of here. You're welcome to use the space here if it's available, but pass-offs do go first. Okay? Is that clear? Yeah.
Will there be also a separate pass-off time, or would that happen during the black belt class, or?
So what we're going to change, we're going to try, if I feel like I need to add something later on, I will. But Poomsae, I'm hoping to pass off during Poomsae class, so that's the time to pass that off. And then the other 3 classes, we're going to have a set schedule where this week we're passing off these kicks. And you need to be in that class, you need to have prepared for it and practice it, and if you come ready, we'll pass it off during that time.
Okay.
So we'll see how that goes. If we need to change it up a little bit, we will. We kind of go with the flow. It's the first time we've done it this way, so we'll see how that goes.
So will we know, as you're sort of figuring this out, will that come out maybe like on a remind, just so
Yes.
that we have a heads up?
Yes.
Okay.
You'll always get a remind, hey, this is what we're passing off this. We're passing off on this week, we're passing off this, this, and this. Please make sure it's in your scheduled practice.
Okay.
That's what you'll get. And so that's the way we're trying to coordinate that so that their practice is direct, they'll see direct results from their practice. Okay? Good question. Also, if you are reserving those rooms and you are not on task, I can ask you to leave. Just keep that in mind. You guys need to stay on task, okay? And if you lose your book, it's going to cost you $50. Don't lose it. Okay? Resources. Last thing up, you've got resources. There's lots of resources. We talked about those, but I want to review them. She's got you on this page. Did you put all of them on the
They're
page?
on the page, so they can.
So you can read that. Okay, so guys, I'm not going to take any more of your time. I know you can all read. Please go through and read and ask questions. Okay? I want to finish with our quote for the year. Our theme is Own It. And our quote that's going to be on your t-shirts this year is going to say, it's your life, no excuses, no blaming others. Your choices are yours. Take charge and own it.
Yay!
Got it? There's some wonderful gifts to that. Moms, you may think that I'm being awfully hard on your children right now, but this is what you need to understand. If they can learn this skill and earn their black belt, it will change the rest of their life. It will change how they see themselves. It will change their confidence. It will change their courage. And they will know that they can do anything that they put their mind to. And that's the most important thing and the most important gift that I can give to your family. Okay? Guys, I love your family. I love your kids. This is one of the neatest things and the blessing that I get to do in my life. I will help you in any way that I can. I'm just asking that you do your piece. Got it? Please start scheduling your eligibility interviews at the front desk. If you can schedule them as soon as Monday of next week. Okay? They need to be scheduled by June 15th. That's your deadline.
But your 50 challenge is supposed to be done at that interview, so
Get to work. If you're not ready with that, give yourself a little bit of time. I will have hours scheduled in and available for you that will be blocked out for the eligibility.
their 50 challenge, we're going to have a workbook for their 50 challenge. That will be, we're hoping to have it available. It's going to be ready on Monday.
Would you go grab just so I can look at those, so I can show those sheets? Do you guys have any questions so far? Yeah. Okay. Any general questions? If you have specific questions, we can talk about that. Does anybody have any general questions?
So with the service hours, how do we like count?
Okay. So in the book, hand me that book called. If you look right here, and every rank is a little bit different. So this is the service hours for second degrees. Date, description, how much time you spend. Okay? You'll have your service hours on second degrees, and then you'll have your BST hours and your community service hours. And you will just track them. Okay? So every time you do service, you have your handy little book, fill it out. If you have a better app on your phone that you want to track your hours and just print it off and tape it on here, I don't care. But that's where I'm going to find it. Okay?
Total hours of it?
The total hours for, it depends on your
Black
rank.
rec first and third is 50 hours. Second degree is 200 hours. But 150 of those are done by other people at projects that you
For service
Altogether,
projects.
there's 200.
But that's your service project, so you have people helping you, and their hours count towards your hours. Okay, so second degrees, you're going to be doing service projects. And so what we really want to do, for those of you who are doing service projects, is I want you to do your service project, get those arrangements, and let's work that together and do it this summer, so that way it's done before you hit fall. Last year, we did a whole bunch of service up in the mountains. We cleaned trails for for the city, and it was wonderful. So there's a lot of different ways we can do service, and I just love it when we make a difference in our community. Okay, finishing up. I know I've said that 3 times now. I'm really sorry. Okay, you are going to have this available to you on Monday. This is your 100 challenge. We're changing it up a little bit because I want to make it easier to score. So it goes through each of the techniques. It'll like current technique, level 1, level 2. The students will know what all these are, and you can ask me if you have questions, because there's a lot of terminology that we're using here. Correct technique, correct sets. So you're going to have stances, blocks and strikes, kicks, transitions, presentation, and you're going to get I'm going to be putting marks, just boom, boom, boom. Okay, this is correct, this is wrong, this is correct, this is wrong. And then that way you can look through, and then that way makes it a much faster process of scoring. You'll be tracking your scoring. Your 5 is going to be marking off there. You'll mark off 10. When you get to your 25, you'll get your eval, and you'll do it again. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is Iljong. This is your 100 challenge. So this is 25. This is 20. This is 25
50,
to
75.
50, 75, and 100. Okay. So we'll walk you through this as you go through that process. But I'm hoping that this will give you better feedback, and it'll be faster for me to track. So when I'm evaluating, I can just be making check marks rather than trying to write notes. Yeah.
So the 50 challenge they need before the eligibility requirement isn't one where they're passing off an evaluation of 25 and 50. They're just doing the 50 on their own?
No, they're doing their 25 and their 50.
Okay.
Once they get to high red, they're eligible to start their 100 challenge. We've been asking them to do that in their advanced classes now. as soon as they get that high red, so they can start working on that. So that allows them a chance to kind of get back and work on that early. And yes, I don't want them to do it 50 times and do it wrong, because then I have to retrain them. So I want them to watch the videos online or ask their teachers in class. We've got tons of resources here. Anybody's willing to help them. Yes, sir.
I'm gonna make a clarification too. Just because you get to practice your forms all 100 times, it's not necessarily you're gonna pass it off. So 100 practices does not equal a pass off. It means that you
That's your
completed
minimum.
that requirement.
If it's ready at 100, great. If it's not, then we'll keep fixing it until it's ready.
Also, aren't you no longer allowed to double tip with your 25, performance 25 and 100 challenge?
Yes, you have
Yeah.
to, if you want to turn in a performance 25, then you don't count those on your 100 challenge.
It's going to give you a lot of extra practice. Okay? This will be really helpful to you. This will be available for you at the front desk.
Who can pass off those 50 challenges? Does it have to be just you and Master Page? Or
Any master instructor, we have 5 of them. There's 5 master instructors. Master Holly will be back. There's 6, including Master Holly. She'll be back June 1st. Actually, June 3rd. Just kidding. June 3rd. Her husband just graduated last week, and they just sold their house. So they're on their way back from school. Okay? So we have a lot of resources, so you have a lot of people who can pass those on. Okay? Any other questions? Yeah.
If you've started already on
We'll
the
transfer it.
challenge, you just transfer it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you've already started, most of you who've already started, we'll just transfer it over to this, but we'll get it this on Monday and you can transfer it over, and then I'll walk you through how you're supposed to be tracking it, okay? This just gives us, it allows you to have more information. Guys, this is going to be a great time. I'm very excited for you. So take it as an uphill battle and challenge and one of the best experiences ever. So thank you so much for your night. If you have any other questions, please let me know. Good night.
Thank you.
And that's on.